Okay, there you go. So we are
Thank
going to
you.
talk about jade plants, and over to you, Marianne.
Thank you very much. Jade plants, interesting plant. I think it's gorgeous. Unfortunately, I don't have a window that's appropriate for it. But they're also known as a money plant, lucky plant, money tree, whatever. They're native to South Africa and Mozambique, so they live in a warm climate. Next. They're easy to grow. This is called Crassula ovata. They're easy to grow. It's a succulent. It likes the warm, dry conditions in your home. It doesn't need a lot of humidity. It doesn't want any humidity. It's much happier in the house. It grows well in containers, and it doesn't mind being pot bound. It grows very slowly. It can grow into an attractive tree up to 5 feet tall. If you look on the web, you can find there's huge ones. They're absolutely gorgeous. I read someplace that there's actually a jade plant somewhere that's over 100 years old. So they're pretty long-lived. They have very fleshy leaves. They're round or oval shaped, dark green, blue-gray, edged in red. Depends upon the species, and there's very many species, different species of the jade plant. It has very thick trunk-like stems, and it will get flowers, which is nice. Either white or pink, and they're very, very pretty, and they're fragrant, which is fun. Next. They prefer a south-facing window. They want 4 or more hours of direct sunlight. Oh, go back one, please. Thank you. Warm house, 65 to 70, night temps 50 to 55, which is appropriate because if it's near a window, it's usually colder, so it should be okay. Do not overwater. That's the big one. They want to be moist in the summertime when they're actively growing, but moist doesn't mean wet. So you have to be very careful. Winter, let them dry out between waterings. One place I went said water them every 2 weeks. Whatever. Very well draining soil. They cactus soil has been suggested, or a mixture of vermiculite and potting soil, something to keep the soil very, very loose and so the water drains really, really well. Next, please. Thank you. Minor problems, well, root rot, which is not a minor problem, but that's from overwatering. So you obviously have to be incredibly careful about how you water the jade plant. And, again, having the very friable soil so the water goes through very, very quickly, and not watering them to the extent where the soil is absolutely saturated. In fact, I found when I did have one, which was a long time ago, that if I, just kind of got the soil a little bit damp, just barely, it was okay. If the soil gets too dry, you get leaf drop. One of the biggest one that seems to attack these things are mealy bugs. And you know what those are? Clusters of white cotton-like insects. And you just go after them with a cotton swab and rubbing alcohol, and you can get them off. Spider mites, you can do the same thing too. Do not, under any circumstances, use insecticidal soap. It will damage the plant. It's all kind of hands-on type of thing. You can blow it off with water if you think that'll help, but don't use soap or any of those kind of chemicals. One of the big things that shows up on jade plants are oedema or edema. And these are blisters that come on the bottom of the leaves, and that's from too much water. So that would be your second clue. First clue would be that the soil is pretty wet. Propagating is fun. And this is one of those fun plants that if you want to propagate, it's really, really easy. Take a leaf off, allow the end that you took it off the stem to callus, and it may take a while. So I've read up to 2 weeks, and then just stick it in the soil, and lightly water it, and you will have new plants, which I think is very exciting. You can also do leaf cuttings, but you want them to be at least 3 to 4 inches long. That was backwards. I'm sorry, and they have to have a long piece. you want to let the end callus over. You can use, oh, I'm sorry. This is my advanced stage showing up. I forget what I'm talking about. The powder, anybody can jump in and help me that you can hold that sometimes will help them grow a little better.
Rootone.
Thank you. And then just put it in a soilless plant mix, water a little bit sparingly, and then it should root in about 2 or 3 weeks. These grow very, very slowly. You know, you're lucky if it gets an inch a year. So don't expect them to just, take over your window. Next, please. And these are my references. I think the best place I went is Clemson University, and the Master Garden Extension in Wisconsin had a really nice article. And of course, the Missouri Botanical Garden, which is always a wonderful place to go. Thank you, Rootone Hormone. Thank you very much. Okay,